welcome to Soccer As We Like It, the Man United direction, the channel for Man United and football fans globally all over the world. Today is Champions League, Man United against Bayern Munich, two of the biggest teams in European football. But this was the first and opening game in that group stage. Joining me today is a Bayern Munich fan, Freddie, one of Houston's biggest and best Bayern Munich fans. Freddie, welcome to the show, mate.
Thank you. How you doing?
You're welcome, mate. And how do I introduce Louis? Denver Red Army, Houston Red Army, the lead singer of all the United songs where United are, when he's winning the rest of United fans. Louis, welcome to the show, mate.
Good to be here, my man. It's good to see you, Tim.
Thanks, mate. And we have the controversial one, Benz. We can't see his face yet. The man who has said United will not win a title till the Glazers find an exit out of this club. Till then, he said there are no trophies. Benzi, welcome to the show, mate.
Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me, man. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Right. Man United 3, Bayern Munich 4. We did the pre-match yesterday with Freddie, and Freddie predicted 3-1. I predicted 2-1 defeat. It kind of went either way somewhere. But Louis, let me open up with you. Where would you go with this game? I mean, we all said, because I did a poll, the poll was heavy defeat, slight defeat, draw, and United win. But 60% said heavy defeat and 20% said slight defeat. So I think that the slight 20% was the winners today. People who said this is not going to be a heavy destruction. It's just going to be a close game, you know. So Louis, take me out. What do you think?
Very, very interesting game overall. I predicted a 2-goal defeat myself, and I think just based on just recent form and of course with all the drama, with everything happening off the pitch, you know, it was very clear that a victory was not likely. However, to get out of Bayern with a 4-3 loss, it's very difficult to say that it's positive, mostly because we didn't play well for very large stretches of the game. Bayern decided to keep it interesting, which was weird for me. I thought it was very much out of character, I think, for them to kind of switch off towards the end of the game. Partially, I think, maybe because of the subs that they made. Maybe they, you know, it's very difficult to expect a turnaround like that from Manchester United, and it's very refreshing to see. I'm very happy for Casemiro to grab 2. Bruno gets an assist, very nice. Rashford is very disappointed in him for large stretches of the game. He gets an assist, you know, good on him. Even Martial comes in and grabs an assist. He, you know, comes in off the bench and does okay.
I know he was quite impressive. Actually.
Yeah, not terrible. It was I mean, look, dude, it was very entertaining. At the end of the day, it was very entertaining. You know, there was moments of absolute jubilation and moments where, you know, you don't know if your TV is going to make it through the rest of the day. It was very, very fun, but it highlights some of the massive problems that we still have within the squad and within the club.
All right. Let me go to Freddie. Freddie, we met Bems. Freddie.
Yeah, we met before.
Yeah. I met Freddie before, man.
I haven't seen you in a while, man.
What's up, Freddie? I know it's been a long time.
Right, Freddie, take us through. You know, we did the pre-match yesterday, and you predicted a 3-1 result for Bayern Munich. Harry Kane's going to score. He did score.
Yep.
I predicted a 2-1 defeat. What was your take from the game? I mean, you scored early. I mean, a mistake, but you did play well. What's your take on the game? The 4-3 victory, 3 points.
I mean, I was expecting a 3-1. The majority of the game was actually a 3-1 until Casemiro did that inside the box. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like I was telling Tim not too long ago. I was actually at the Astros game. I was watching the baseball game. I was watching Bayern at the actual game. And yeah, I mean, I was expecting, you know, Bayern to just like go through 3-1. Then some of the changes came in, you know, like Thomas came in for Kane. Leroy went out for Matistel. And that's when that 3-1 dynamic changed. Casemiro scored the 2 goals, as Lewis said. And I don't know. I noticed a different Bayern after that. I was expecting a win, but to make it all the way to the 90th minute and get it that close, like a 4-3. Oh no, it does say a lot about how how we're going about switching our players during the match. So
Right.
so yeah, and I'm gonna say that this is my disclaimer right now. Like I said, I was at a baseball game. I was at the Houston Astros game. So I was kind of like watching the game while I was like looking at the picture, and I was looking at the game on my phone. So it was very difficult to watch Bayern the Champions League on your phone while you're at a baseball game.
I
So.
hear you, bro. I hear you, bro.
Oh,
Thank you.
I mean, a little bit that I saw, I like what I saw from Bayern. Obviously, Manchester was a challenge. So,
No,
it's we go for first game of the group stage 4-3. Let's move on to the next one.
Right, Joey. How you see the game? I mean, what was your take on it? We can't hear you.
Yeah, I just haven't said anything. You know what? We showed a lot more fight.
Right.
If I was to draw some positives out of this game, you learn 2 things about the team. Each team actually, when United wants to, there was like, I mean, if you look at Casemiro, who didn't necessarily have a great game,
No, it didn't.
Still kind of fight and get a brace. That's positives, man. I mean, like for you to still be able to contribute, but not like as a defensive midfielder, still
Exactly.
like getting in there. That's a winner's mentality. That's a winner's mentality, man. To have a not great game, and then score 2 goals. There was some positives in this game, but of course, this team has been decimated. We are hurting like really bad, like no other top 6 team in the world. Seriously, like is having the same injury and legal issues to their roster that we have. It's almost as if, man, it's almost as if like you could possibly, I'm not gonna say it, but you could almost kind of give Ten Hag a kind of a pass. It just so happened the way it is, and then of course this is gonna split the fan base. It's gonna split a lot of people because some people are gonna feel like he needs to be doing more with what he's got. But if his intention was to play a certain way, and these are not the folks that he was intending on teaching his style of football, at this point, he doesn't even seem like he has the personnel to revert back to the safe pivot for regular counter-attacking football. He doesn't even seem like he has enough. Obviously, there were some mistakes, individual mistakes today, but there was still some of the same mistakes.
Yeah.
With certain individuals.
Cut back into the box and
same exact thing. So it's either some people are just physically incapable or mentally incapable of doing a specific job defensively for us. Right? Because we're seeing the same. It's the same thing over and over. So there's something about
different goals, same goal, different team. Right.
So, but I like the fight though. I'll take it.
Right. Benzi, you had written United up as most United fans were prepared to lose today, but after seeing the score 4-3, do you think it was the score flattered United?
I would say, well, we were lucky to get 4-3, man. That game was more or less like just in my opinion. Let's be honest, man. I think Bayern I don't think they're all the way like they're together. I don't think that midfield has that complete chemistry together. I honestly speaking, if it was the Bayern that is in that we know that game would have been 5-1 comfortably. We're just lucky that is we're lucky that we scored 3 goals, to be honest with you.
And they
So
will
let's
happen in
not
second half.
exactly when those changes start to is it when they started to make those changes, game changed a bit. I mean, yeah, we came back, we showed some fight, but let's be honest, man. Let's be honest. I think we were lucky. I think once they scored, you could see the mentality, the heads kind of dropped a little bit. And I mean, we're in big trouble. It's going to be a tough and very, very extremely long season. I mean, the only hope that Ten Hag has is the players that he has to come back from injury. I think the only thing that will save us, that would give us a little bit of hope, is when Amrabat comes in. We need Amrabat in that midfield. We need Amrabat. We need Mano back. Obviously, you can't put a lot of pressure on Mano because he's a young kid. But yeah, man, let's not hype it too much, man. We're just lucky to finish 4-3 in that game, man.
Right. So as you've seen, it's the first game. There are five more games. If United win all the home games and get another result somewhere, then I think Brown will win the group. I believe they will win the group, and United should do the right thing. Should do the right thing.
I think they will win. It's not a thing. It's guaranteed they will win.
I will. Can I say one quick thing about Bayern Munich? To Freddie, what did you think about their? It seemed like it was a drop and fall. When you look at like tournaments like this, you're gonna need depth, right? You're gonna need some game changes. It almost seems like the scoreline would not have ended up the way it would have ended up if you didn't take your, some of your starters out. So from what you've noticed with Bayern throughout the season, how does the bench look as far as is this something that's common, that the performance kind of dips after you get the main guys out of there, or was this just a blip?
Usually the main comparison I do, I like to compare, obviously, like Bayern Munich to the German national team. When you see that Thomas Müller starts with the it's part of the starting 11, you see a different dynamic. Thomas Müller has always been kind of like the player that's always vocal, always shooting orders in the midfield, like guiding people in the midfield. Same thing kind of happens with Bayern, and he didn't start today. So I do see, and then Tuchel also, he was out on he got suspended. He got suspended. So you don't have Thomas Tuchel on the field directing the flow. That also changes the dynamic of the team. Coleman was on the bench. Thomas Müller was on the bench. Matistel was on the bench. And then you also have, Ulreich still as and I know this is going to sound like a repetitive comment I keep making, but, you have a goalkeeper, world-class goalkeeper like Manuel Neuer still out. You're going to concede goals, eventually. So there's still plenty of work that needs to be done with Tuchel, with Bayern. Do I see, Bayern actually winning the group? No, I don't know. I think it's going to be it may be a fight all the way to December. I do not see Bayern comfortably walking into round 16 next year.
Wow.
No, I don't. Unless we have, a more solid midfield, like I was commenting to Tim on the last interview, we have Kim and Jae. As long as we have a Upamecano that's very aware of his surroundings, we have a De Ligt, in the back four helping out. We're gonna concede goals regardless. So it's there's a lot of things that we still need to work towards
Right.
In order to win the group or fight for the top two in order to go through the next round.
Okay.
So,
So, Louis, in today's, I'm not going to say today's disaster, in today's mistake, would you blame the defense or the midfield in this one? Who would you pick out? I said, was it United's back four who were poor, or was it the midfield he did not help?
In this one, it's a little bit more nuanced. I think it comes down to individual performances. If you look at the back four overall, I thought the center backs did okay. There were some mistakes there. I think Lindelof gives. I think it's the fourth goal. Martinez. I think there. If I'm trying to remember the order. Sometimes I mix up the order of which goal is which.
But the second or third was, I think most people said Eriksen was, it didn't, okay. The
yeah, right. So I think Eriksen doesn't mark, and I think Martinez is kind of left alone, and it's like, could he have stepped? Could he have not? Could he have done more? So I thought the center backs overall did okay. Reguilon going forward, he's a threat. Defensively, he's ass. Delo, I thought, was the worst player on the pitch by far. Delo, the first goal is completely his fault. I felt like he has the first goal or the second goal?
No, second goal. Second goal.
Second
when
goal.
They cut back.
Yeah, basically he makes contact with the ball twice.
It fizzes off his leg.
Yeah, basically he loses track of the ball. It almost goes in between his legs. It doesn't. It kind of skims and goes around. But it like almost looks like he's about to get nutmegged because he loses track of the ball. But I mean, it was several times, several horrible passes that turned into quick counterattacks from Delo. Extremely, extremely poor. By far the worst. Eriksen is not a box to box. He can't. He doesn't have the legs, the speed, the physicality, the stamina. He can't do it. So is it his fault, or should Ten Hag known that he's not capable, or should he play him in a different role? Casemiro overall, my man of the match, thought he did well. Bruno again gets the assist. It was nice. The Casemiro goal. Couple of key moments where he creates, opens it up. But overall, not enough for me. Not enough work rate. Professional, maybe, but we expect better from Bruno just because of what he does for us, what he means to the team. I mean, I do believe he is a good captain, and I think he has these types of games where it's a little bit disappointing, but overall he does his job. Front three, Højlund, good. Don't really blame him. Pellistri worked his ass off and had nothing.
Just physically,
he worked incredibly hard, and he has nothing to show for it because he's always covering Delo. He was in the defensive third so many times, having to cover his ass, and it was just so frustrating to watch because the fan base has been asking for him to have his moment, to have his chance. And he spent the whole time defending, which, I mean, maybe that shows Ten Hag and the coaching staff, like, look, this is a kid that'll work and, give him opportunities and give him chances. But it's very unfortunate that he's basically taken out of the game. So it's very, very difficult to say. Onana, huge mistake, massive, massive, massive mistake with the first goal. We're playing very, very well. And
out of nowhere.
It's unfair. It's unfair for Onana to say it's all my fault. Because when that mistake happens, the mentality of the team drops. That's not his fault that the mentality of the team drops.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Good point. Very good point.
So it's rough on him because he's new and he's trying to find his place. But it's also clear that he can't organize the back line the way De Gea did. But of course, De Gea is the veteran. He had the time with those players. He knows, they all, became friends and made it work last season and made it work very, very well. We've disrupted, the back six. We've disrupted it with changes, injuries. we didn't get the players that we wanted. So, you know, at the end of the day, it always goes back to the Glazers. It's all their fault.
Right. All right. Joey, midfield, what was your opinion on the attack? Did the attack do enough today, in your opinion? Rashford, Rasmus, did they do well?
But before I go to midfield real quick, I just want to touch on something real quick about
quickly.
Onana. I think Onana would have, our goalkeeper would have had a better game if it was David De Gea.
Oh yeah, by far.
Plain and simple.
Yep.
4 goals went in. De Gea stops at least one of those.
Right.
At least, all right. So that's not using this opportunity to shit on Onana. It's just that apparently this is not why we brought him here, and we just need to utilize him better, right? So this is gonna happen. Okay, so that's it.
So the rebuttal I'm getting from people who text me today, like, Onana is struggling because the defense are leaving him exposed. Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, but that's the idea. Our defense have always left our goalkeeper exposed. It's just that we had we had a goat. And, like, this is why, like, we've been trying to tell folks out, this is not a I told you so situation. It's just that there's certain it would take a goalkeeper that single-handedly kept this team from relegation. You know, and we think that that's just normal. You know, Henderson had some sparks, but he wasn't no De Gea, you know? So you can't really say that I mean, it's clear. It's like De Gea might have made mistakes, you know, if Ten Hag tried to play from the back, you know, yes. But I have not seen what the reason why we've brought Onana here. It's not benefiting the team fast enough,
right,
for it to compensate.
Is it too early? Do you think it's too early to?
I think it's way too early. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's way too early. I'm not here to just start shitting on Onana because, you know, he is not being allowed to play his type of goalkeeping because we either lack the drilling, the coaching, or the personnel. Wow. So if he's not if he wasn't brought here to compensate for a back line that periodically, a back line and now a midfield that periodically leaves the goalkeeper exposed, then that's something he's going to have to learn. He's going to have to be like, so like it'll be real interesting to see how he reacts to this. Is he going to continue to be this aggressive goalkeeper, or is he going to try to, because there was one particular moment today where I thought he was going to be more aggressive and go after the ball. It was like a through ball, and I think he could have gotten there, but he decided to stay back. And I would imagine if he didn't concede that first goal, he probably would have had the confidence to go for that ball.
Right.
So it'll be real interesting to see how.
Him.
Yeah, it'll be real interesting how he reacts to this on Saturday. Yeah.
Okay.
It was nice to see, if I just touch on it, it was nice to see that Bayern, especially in that kind of first 25 minutes, really refused to press Onana, because they do know that he's good with his feet. So when we did rotate through him, and we didn't do it very many times, but when we did rotate through Onana and they refused that press, you could see how we were taking control of the tempo of the game in that moment. We were able to open it up a little bit. Onana kind of sits on the ball.
Right.
Game, you know, we relax. He builds out because he can pass nicely with his feet, and he connects every time. And again, in that first 25 minutes, every ball kind of connected. It wasn't necessarily like devastating for Bayern or anything like this, but it does kind of allow us to open, to kind of regain shape, to reset the attack. So it's nice to see that the reason that we brought him in is there's snippets here and there. Unfortunately, though, we finished third last season. We got as far as we did in the Carabao and in the FA Cup because we weren't conceding very many goals. And again, it was because De Gea is a shot-stopping monster.
Right.
We sacrificed playing out of the back, or at least playing through De Gea for 1-0 wins, a few 1-0 wins, even against teams like Southampton and that. So it's a successful model. And again, like De Gea was not the priority. Like we knew that we wanted to replace him, but center back was the priority. Midfielder was the priority. Striker was the priority. And when we couldn't get any of those, then we get Mason Mount for some god awful reason, and then we get Onana. So it's like we disrupted the plan that Ten Hag had set in place. And it's
Right.
very unfortunate, and honestly, it looks like Onana is suffering
Right.
because now he has to answer to this, and it's kind of an unfair situation for him. It sucks.
Benzi.
I think Erik ten Hag thought we would be playing far more forward,
Yes.
but we just don't, because like we didn't go for that key striker because he just thought, okay, instead of fixing like the midfield and the forwards, we'll just fix the back, get a forward-thinking goalkeeper to push the game up.
Right.
That'll give us more possession.
But that only happens because the club tells him that no, you can't have Kim Min Jae because we screwed it up. We can't have a Casito because we screwed it up. We can't have a Kane because we were never really in for him, but Osimhen, like we screwed that up too. Like the only reason that we went for Onana is because our plan A
was the only option.
We screwed Ten Hag. He wanted a forward-thinking goalkeeper eventually, but he knew that he needed those pieces first. And Fred's like, sorry, screw you guys. I want Kim Min Jae, give him back because he actually played nice today. And like, I hate you guys so much right now. Keep Kane, I don't care. Give me Kim Min Jae.
I love him, man.
Right. Let me bring the controversial one in. Bems, the Man United forward line, Rasmus and Rashford. What was your take on Rashford first, quickly?
Rashford, I think he had moments where he was being quite creative today.
Okay.
His demeanor at times during the game was very upsetting. I know there were moments in the game where you could see he was like, he had the ball, you looked up, you didn't see the pass, and he had that little kid, annoying kind of look in his face. It's just really terrible. That body language was really, really annoying. So he had some moments where he was where he took on his man a couple times, Upamecano or whoever that was, and then he delivered some square balls into the box. But honestly speaking, I think Ten Hag should be taking Rashford off in the second half. He's not playing well, but Ten Hag doesn't do that. Bruno and Rashford they just can't be subbed off for some reason. I just don't agree. That's the only thing that I will criticize Ten Hag for, is not being able to take Rashford up. But Rasmus was good. I like Rasmus. The guy he's got talent. He's got a bright future. The guy is physical. He can move. His movement is good. I love his movement, and the fact that he scored a goal, I'm just happy for the kid, man. Right. That guy he's good. He just needs the service. He wasn't really getting the service. Let's be honest. If he was to play in a team where he's getting service, he would look even better. So yeah.
I find it interesting. His 3 clear chances at goal, 2 in which he converted, were all Marcus Rashford assists.
Right. So which
the
means
one that
we
he
need to find a partnership.
Which means Rashford can be creative. Rashford can do that job. He can do it. He just doesn't know how to do it.
Just pick your head up and look for your striker. It's really that simple. Look at all of the passes. It was really that simple. There weren't difficult passes. Just get him the ball, put it in an area. Rasmus, he's key because he's one of those kind of players where when you pass him the ball, kind of like Harry Kane does the same thing. You've seen the same thing with Sergio Aguero. I'm not saying that he's at the same level. They know where they want the ball. So that first touch is key. They want that ball to be away from you, just enough space for them to get. Greenwood does the same thing.
Yep.
Just touch it to the side. They already know what they already know which corner they're going for.
Right.
That's why this kid needs some to get fed.
Creativity and passes through.
You know,
so,
definitely. But he's more direct though. Just boom, boom. You're not gonna see him cutting this, cutting this.
Nah, he doesn't do that. He's direct. He's
no and one. This ain't and one basketball. This is straight up boom. Ruckers. Get at him.
Right.
He's a number 9.
Freddie,
sure.
I see Misala was really torturing United defenders today. I haven't watched him play, but he seemed he was really making United defenders uncomfortable when he ran, twisted and turned. He was really cutting and torturing the United defenders, Misala.
Almost, man. The kid, the only little bits I got to watch was like, Gnabry passing it to him, and then Musiala like just dribbling through the midfield. I'm like, oh my God. I'm telling you, Musiala, do I want to say that he may be a future Ballon d'Or? Maybe. It's difficult not to say anything.
What's his actual position? Is he a winger? Is he what's his position?
He usually plays center mid. Nagelsmann used to, set him up as a winger, but Tuchel wants to it's actually more like he wants to play him in the mid,
right?
Center mid. And now that we have Kane, so you have Kane, you have Gnabry, you have Sane. It's perfect. He can actually move the ball from mid.
He was doing that.
That's exactly his position. So I don't know. I think Jamal Musiala is gonna be quite the terror of Europe for a few years to come.
Right. Louis, when you saw Musiala, really, was there any United player who was hard enough on him, or were giving him too much space and respect? It's like they kept backing off.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely had a lot of space to operate. And I mean, he's young, he's quick, he's versatile. He's very, very dangerous. It was interesting to kind of see Eriksen, not the entire time, but for stretches, especially kind of towards the second half, he kind of occupies the 10 role. And Bruno and Casemiro were kind of playing like a dual pivot in the middle. Yeah. So when that happens, the space closes a bit for him, not completely, but it was an adjustment that ultimately kind of worked in our favor because it allowed us to kind of go forward at the end, kind of open up and then kind of steal 2 quick goals. Unfortunately, only one side of United was working today, which was the front, and then the back. And you could argue again it is at the mercy of the midfielders, but when you score it's 3-2, and you got time, and you're like, we could really make something out of this, and then you give up a goal and it goes 4-2. When we scored the 3rd goal, I was pissed because in my mind I was like, it should at least be 3-3. Should at least be 3-3. Right, and then of course, and it hurts even more because Bayern Munich cheated. So, because of the penalty against Cannel in the beginning that was not called. So it hurts. But no, the
small margins.
Yeah, no, but the kid is good, man. He's extremely good, and so is the other 19-year-old Tall. Is that
Mathis Tell?
Yeah, Tell. What a kid!
Oh man.
And again,
it would be a tie too if Eriksen scored that goal.
What's that?
It would be a tie also if Eriksen scored that goal.
Yeah, but Eriksen definitely.
I don't know why Eriksen didn't score that goal.
That should have at least been a pen. That was a dead on.
I missed that, y'all. So
Yeah, no, he gets taken out from behind.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It's bad. But tell like the fourth goal, like I mean, it's a rocket that he puts into the top bins. I mean, my argument is that he shouldn't be allowed to take that shot. Like
Exactly my point. Lindelof arrived 20 seconds late when the ball is
No.
running left.
That was
Casemiro.
That was Casemiro.
Casemiro?
That was Casemiro.
The term I heard today, which I was laughing for like an hour, was King Henry VIII FC because heads are dropping. I thought that was, I mean, I think that's hilarious because it's exactly what happens. We concede, heads drop, and then we concede again. And you know, when you score and it's
this lack of concentration, right?
Yeah, the game is within one goal, and it's like statistically speaking, one of the easiest times to get scored on is right after you've scored. So you've scored a goal, your head still drops for whatever reason, and then you give a 19-year-old kid the opportunity to score the goal of his career, and he blasts it top ends. And don't get me wrong, like he's a good player, and good on him for finishing. But yeah, it's so unfortunate to see Marcus Rashford, flip his hand and then turn his back on was it Reguilon who had the ball at the time, I think, and see that moment. It's when Lindelof, who's gotten way better since our worst season two seasons ago, to have that moment at the end and give up a fourth goal, just to have these players that are so promising and so talented to switch off and their heads drop. And what ultimately happens is, like, yeah, there's so many positives to take away from a 4-3 Bayern game, but we're hurt. We're not pissed. We're not mad. We're hurt. Like, this is
more like disappointed.
Yeah, we're extremely disappointed just because, like, everyone predicted Bayern to win, but you've shown that we can draw, if not win. Like, you've shown that we can score goals against top teams. But the fact that the team can't be cohesive and stay as a unit for 90 minutes in big moments, it's heartbreaking.
Right. Bemsy.
Yes, sir.
Eriksen came on for, McTominay came on for Eriksen. What was his impact in this game? Because a lot of people are saying this guy disappeared. He was nowhere to be found.
Nothing.
I think
was terrible.
There was some money selling some T-shirts in the stands or something like that.
Scooby-Doo.
But
what was the option? What was the alternative after?
Yeah, there's nowhere else. To be honest with you,
the alternative is for Eriksen to have a heart attack.
That's cold, bro. That's cold.
I would put I'll be honest with you, I would put Gore in that game, man. Dan Gore, whatever his name is, I'll put Gore in the game because McTominay's useless, man. There was a moment when we were in the attack. I think it was McTominay. Ball was past McTominay. He was in the middle, just outside the edge of the box. He takes a bad touch, loses the ball. Then Bayern are on the counter attack, and the guy is not even chasing down. He's just jogging. Lightly jogging. He just lets Bayern go. He doesn't even run back. He doesn't track back. I'm like, wow, are you kidding me? That right there sums it up. It sums up the way United is in the pretty much the way we've been playing these 6 games. How many games we played so far? We are terrible. The fact that McTominay will not track back in that situation is very, very bad. I mean, if Ten Hag should watch that video and sees that, he's gonna be pissed. Any coach or manager watches that video back when McTominay loses the ball and doesn't track back, like he literally doesn't track back. He just jogs lightly and just watches.
It was criminal.
Really criminal. I'm like, God damn, man, bro.
No, like it's no. At that point, if you look at the video, that's self-sabotage. That's what that was. Because it's not like he had been playing the entire game.
Exactly.
I used to think McTominay just like wasn't good enough, and he, the emotions got the best of him because he's insecure. He might have, But now I'm looking at McTominay. No, this kid, he's down in tools. He's down in tools.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
McTominay
That's
is
it right
down.
there.
I thought he was just bad before, but no, he's down. He's been doing it for a lot longer, you know. And today it was just like, oh wow, that's what that is. And it's sad that's all we got. Like that isn't all we got, because that level of performance right there. If you can't tell me an academy player can do better than that, man, that academy player needs to be sold. If none of our midfield academy players can't do better than that, then they do not deserve to be in the senior team.
I mean, it's really bad. That's why I would gladly say, man. I mean, I think Gore should be coming in, but the only thing is, you know, Ten Hag, the way he coaches and what he thinks about these players, only God knows what he's seeing from Gore in training. Maybe he's not seeing enough. But also, Gore is a pretty young player too. Yeah. But yeah, like Ten Hag doesn't really have the options. What else do you want him to do? Amrabat is injured. There's nothing he can do. So you just gotta. I mean,
soldier on. Yeah. So because a lot of fans were saying Eriksen hasn't got the legs to track back and help the defensively with Casemiro. McTominay has the legs but hasn't got the vision or know what he's doing, so he hides. So you have one player who could do it but hasn't got the legs to do it, and you have a player who has the legs but doesn't know what to do when he's positioned. So you're having a combination of two players who are just there because there's nothing else United have in that position, which is literally sad. That's where United are. On a scale of 1 to 10, Freddie, what would you give Bayern Munich's performance today?
I'd go with an 7.5.
Wow, high marks.
Yeah, smart. Louis, Man United.
5.
Joe.
Can't hear you, buddy. You're muted there, man.
5.5. 5.5, 6. 5.5.
Okay. Bamsy, let's hear your one. What are you gonna say, Bams?
I give it a 4,
bro.
4.
I'll give it a 4. Yeah.
4 out of 10.
I get a 4. We were lucky to score 3 goals. Let's be honest.
Listen.
Yeah, we were.
They
lucky.
still scored them though.
Yeah, I know.
They still scored them. Right?
Yeah, we created luck. That's Ten Hag. Ten Hag makes this statement when he during his press conference. He says we have to make our luck. Yeah, we made our luck to score 3 goals.
Which is understandable. Which I'm not too disappointed. The only reason because if it was 4-1, I would be cursing now. But 4-3, you know what? It is not too bad. It is.
Yeah, it's not bad. I agree.
It's not bad. The result does flatter us. It does make us look a bit better than we actually were. So I'm not too
exactly.
So
one goal difference instead of a 2 goal difference.
Exactly. Or it could have been Arsenal have gone there back in the day, gone there 5-1, 5-1, 5-1 on 2 occasions, 10-2, 10-2. So, but what I will say now is, Louis, how is Onana under is pressure? Are you going to solely blame Onana? It could have done better, or the defense is not helping as it should, or it's just that it takes time for them to build the combination.
At the end of the day, it's just the team is disconnected, and the reason for that is the constant state of disarray that we're constantly in. Onana has had, you know, I saw this stat today: 10 goals in 3 games we've conceded.
Yes.
10 goals in 3 games. Is that completely his fault? Of course it's not. But at the same time, like we did not prepare the team to bring in a new, different style playing goalkeeper. We didn't create the environment for him to develop. This is, I mean, as coaches, this is our job. You have to create the environment for these players to bring the best out of these players. We don't have an environment that will bring the best out of Onana. Martinez stepped up I feel like he stepped up in a big way today.
I thought so too.
He
stepped up.
But he's been out of form lately. He's had some bad games. And, you know, and it's because part of that is because, you know, he doesn't know who he's playing with week to week. It's injuries. It's, you know, it's this, it's that. and we didn't prepare by getting the center back that we needed. The midfield is shot. The midfield is absolutely shot because we did not prepare. You know, Højlund, the whole point of getting a Højlund was to get an experienced striker to mentor, to develop, to play alongside. Now we're chucking him in, and they're like, "All right, dude, you're the first choice, or whatever." Or Martial's the first choice. We don't even know because we did not prepare. So no, I won't say that it's all Onana's fault. I won't even go so far as to say that it's all the midfielder's fault. Even though, yeah, the midfield has been in shambles for the last 3 games. You know, it's perpetual just mistakes being made by leadership. You know, and unfortunately, what we're seeing now is already, and I do put this firmly on the Glazers and on the club, the narrative in the media is being put out there that it's Ten Hag's fault, and that
I'm beginning to see a
Hag needs to
pattern.
be replaced, and that it's time for him to go.
I'm seeing that already.
6 games after he finished 3rd, won a trophy, and made another final. 6 games, and the narrative is being that he's the media is not coming up with that on their own.
Glazers out.
You know, thank you, my man. Even he gets it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the problem. The problem is individual performances based on lack of team cohesion, based on poor leadership. This is where we're at.
Right.
It's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. Hopefully we can go and get some points against Burnley and maybe kind of use this as a springboard into better things, into positive thinking. But ultimately, my man, there's just so many holes in this ship that we got to plug up.
Right. Joe, quickly, the substitutes, Martial and Garnacho, how would you rate them today? Good, bad, average?
About average. Solo, Sparkle, Martial. Garnacho's just still Garnacho.
You did okay.
I mean, I would say that Garnacho, I would have bought him a lot sooner.
Yeah.
A lot sooner.
And not take out Højlund for him either.
Yeah, definitely. It should have been Rashford out. So this is the second time in a row. This is the second straight game where Ten Hag has picked
Rasmus out.
Rasmus to go out and Rashford to stay. I'm not sure if I'm gonna look at the history of Ten Hag, I think Ten Hag is probably gonna give Rashford one more game, stinking it up, where he keeps it in. Otherwise, he's gonna start maybe by introducing Garnacho a little bit sooner. And of course, Rashford is not gonna like it, especially somebody with Rashford hasn't seemed to be the kind of guy that's got an ego or anything. But shit, man, this team, things run wild, you know, like players go crazy, you know.
You still gotta have competition within the team.
Say that again.
You still gotta have competition within the team.
Yeah.
So
we don't.
So do you see Rashford starting against Burnley?
Probably.
Oh yeah, he's gonna start.
Oh,
Yeah, he's gonna start. Yeah.
Ten Hag will start him, but that's the issue. Is there's no competition for places in this squad. It's always been that way for years.
Rashford knows.
Rashford knows he's better than Garnacho at that position.
Joe, can I ask you, and Bems, I'll prompt this to you as well. Is Rashford consistently being left in the team because Ten Hag has been told that he can't pull him? We've seen this before.
We don't know, but I
remember when
I do know.
Ooh.
Yeah, I do know that at clubs, when you have a star player like Rashford, it's well known that managers could be told, well, I mean, that's our star player, he has to play, even though he's not playing well. I'm not saying that's happening at United, but I do remember Ten Hag also mentioned when he came in, he said that he's going to make Rashford great again. He's going to get the best out of Rashford. So, I mean, he's sticking to that, continuously playing Rashford. But I mean, it's I mean, I don't know if it's from the club or he's just sticking with Rashford because we don't have anyone better that can do come in and produce. But you also know Rashford is going to give you that moment of brilliance and score a goal. That's
He's very inconsistent.
Very.
Even Fred,
he's very inconsistent.
Inconsistent. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So today,
if you ask me, I would take Rashford. I would, if you ask me, right?
Today, I would have
If
taken
I
him
was
off.
rebuilding this squad, not even just take him off. If you ask me, if I'm rebuilding this squad, I would sell Rashford.
It reminds me of the same situation with Lingard too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Same situation. Some games he'll show up, then others is like, and then all of a sudden he went to West Ham.
Lingard didn't have the player Rashford has. That's
I would sell Rashford. Honestly speaking,
but
I would sell him. He's the one player.
He's the one player we can't sell.
But he's the one player that has been through all the shit, all the storm. He's the Mourinho times, the Ole times, the Van Gaal times. Him and Martial. No, but to be fair, Martial doesn't play as much as him though.
Right.
I'm talking about
because
player
of injury
that plays
and
a lot. Yeah, because of injury. But then at the same time, I'm talking
form.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm talking about players that are what's the word? Regulars that I'm sorry to say this, but infect the squad. I think Rashford is infectious. Maybe not. People may not see that, but I just think that because he knows he's the main guy. He's the poster boy. He feels like he's better than what he is. It gets to his head. I mean, I might be wrong, but this is one player that has been there every single time. Well, I won't say every single time. Most of those games that we would pump 7-0, 6-3, whatever, Rashford was on the pitch with all those different managers. He was on the pitch. When we lost 6-1 to Spurs, I think that was under Ole. When Martial got a red card.
Yes,
he was on the pitch. He was on the pitch. He was on the pitch for all those losses. You guys got to think about this, man. Think about the players that have been there when we had those really, really bad times. Rashford has always been there. Okay. And then check this out. Last season, 30 goals. This season, De Gea is but I mean, but a lot of people blame De Gea. But you could see De Gea was more consistent than Rashford. Let's be honest. De Gea is more of a legend. De Gea is a legend. Rashford is not a legend.
Not yet.
Rashford is not a legend.
So I mean, overall, United got no point. They are bottom of the group because Copenhagen and Galatasaray.
Galatasaray for coming back though, man. Because Copenhagen, they screwed themselves, man, by losing a 2-0 lead. That's embarrassing.
Another away game is going to Turkey. That is a very hostile environment, and I don't know if these guys have the mental capacity or the skin to go through that, because when they go down in Turkey, it's lights out. Then guys are just crazy.
We're gonna lose, man. We're gonna lose.
Listen. What if we have? I'm a bet.
I will have more confidence.
We'll still lose.
I will have more confidence.
See, look. Remember, right? This squad is so infectious, right? That when when new players come in, they eventually their standards drop. Look at Casemiro last season. Look at him this season.
He stepped up.
You make a point.
But when Bruno first came in, look at what Bruno was doing. Look what Bruno was doing. Lights out, right?
He was absolutely electric.
And then what happened to Bruno?
I think what's happening is
still creates the most moments in the Premier League.
Yeah, but let's be honest though. He's not the player he was when he first joined.
Let Joe quickly button quickly.
It's multi-factor. One, they are playing in the most difficult top flight league on the planet. Sorry, Bundesliga, you know what I'm talking about. All right, you know. All right. 2.
You mean the league with only one team in it?
Here he goes. Go to the Jabs.
It's facts. You in France, buddy. You in France.
Listen. But it's not because of that team is poaching the best players from within its league. Yeah. Bayern Munich is a leech on the Bundesliga. They suck the best German talent from the
Wow.
grassroots, and they elevate it to the Valhalla that is at Munich. So that's how that happens. I'm sorry.
But
City
I,
at
from
least has
what
the
I've seen,
wherewithal.
what I have seen, other teams like RB Leipzig are beginning to close that gap.
Best German talent. Okay, let's see. We got Kane, we got Coman. So you got English, French.
Oh, do not act like
De
Bayern
Ligt,
is
De
a
Ligt,
team.
Dutch,
German now. Yeah,
Kim J, South Korean.
Hold it.
Let's see.
Bayern Munich,
Bro.
and it was set up this way on purpose. Bayern Munich is not the top team in the Bundesliga. Bayern Munich is the German national team academy.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and
You know this.
Germany
You
has
know this.
Oh no!
Wait a minute.
Wait, no, it worked. It worked. Y'all won a World Cup. Big ups to you. We haven't done that.
Upamecano, French.
It worked.
Coman, French.
It worked.
Kane,
But
English.
you cannot
De
sit
Ligt,
there and
Dutch.
pretend
Come on,
that
man.
Bayern Munich has not leached.
But I would say this. Over the years, it used to be like that. It used to be 90% of the 90% of
that has changed a lot.
90% of the German national team used to be filtered through Bayern Munich, just like how the Spain national team just mostly
Barcelona and Real Madrid.
All I'm saying is
over the years, I think Bayern Munich, the dominance has started to whittle down because other teams like RB Leipzig are beginning to close the gap. Dortmund has done it last season, but they fumbled due to pressure.
But look, Tim, it's not just Leipzig. You have Leipzig, Dortmund, Leverkusen. They're finally starting to get traction again.
Yeah.
So I mean, to see like we were talking about, Tim, in the last conversation we had, is like, I mean, everybody was expecting Dortmund to freaking win the league in the last game of the season, and they bottled it. So how do you expect Bayern not to take the league in the last game of the season? You know, so
you're right.
Hey, can I ask a question?
We're back at it. You know,
wait. Can I ask a question? If it was meant for Dortmund to bottle it, right? Why is it that the only team that could possibly upend Dortmund was naturally Bayern Munich?
But that wasn't the case a couple of match days before the end of the season. Union Berlin was in the race, so it wasn't just Dortmund. Union Berlin was in the race. Leipzig was in the race, so it wasn't just Bayern. So you had 4 teams in the race towards the end of the season. So
Tim, all I'm saying, man,
this wasn't supposed to turn into
we earned our 20 times, Tim. We earned.
I did not. This was not my intention. All right, I'm not trying to distract from Manchester United's issues. You know, it's just like.
Where's your Yankees jersey at? Speaking of like, where's your Yankees jersey, bro?
I just went ahead and made my statement.
Come on, man!
I made my statement, and I kept it moving. Right? This is so Tim's channel.
Let Bems close us out. Bems, close United out for today. Summarize us out and going into the game on Saturday.
We are in big trouble.
Can United? So the positive, if there are any positives today, can United take that into the game against Burnley on Saturday?
I mean, I guess the only positive that you could say, honestly speaking, the only positive that I can say is that they fought back a little. They fought back to score 3 goals. That's it. That's the only positive. But what I'm going to tell you is that I don't think that positivity of fighting back to score 3 goals is going to translate into the game against Burnley. I don't think so.
A weaker team than Bayern Munich?
Yeah, it's not forget about the weak. It's the mentality of these players, man. Mentality. These players, when they go and play Burnley, right? Yeah, they're gonna feel, oh well, it's Burnley anyways. So right. I mean, their levels will drop when they play. We know when these players play against the big teams, the levels go up because they don't want to lose, right? Most times we don't get slapped by big teams, except those 1-2 games where we got pumped 7-0 and whatever. We don't really get pumped that much against the big teams.
Right.
But against the smaller
Small
teams, when we get small teams, they get complacent and then they show them, okay, well, I mean, you think, yeah, you're Manchester United, but then we can beat you and we will beat you.
Right.
So I'm not confident against Burnley.
Wow.
Because what I've seen this season, I've seen a bunch of players that for some reason are not really fighting for the team. Players are not tracking back, conceding stupid goals, the same goals every single game. Ten Hag mentioned it. Like these. I mean, I don't know what else fans want Ten Hag to do.
I
don't know maybe they want him to just put on his kit. Put some cleats on and go on the pitch and play. What do you want the guy to do? The guy is we're doomed.
I'm slightly seeing the media trying to point fingers at Erik ten Hag as he's the problem.
That's Glazer.
Oh yeah, fans are doing that too.
That is Glazer.
Fans are doing that
6
too.
games in.
Yeah, fans are doing that. Our fans are one of the biggest reasons why we will not progress.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking.
I agree with you. Well, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Freddie, thank you for coming on to tell us your 3 victories, Dynamos, Astros, and Brian Munich.
One Dynamo.
Thank you. Wow.
Nice.
I haven't checked the score.
Right.
Wow.
So, Louis, thank you for coming on. Thank you very much. I know it wasn't a great day, but like you said, we find a little positive. Joe, thank you very much for coming on tonight. Bemzi, thank you for summarizing us. Like you said, you don't think this will translate to the game on Saturday?
They haven't won. They have 0 wins, so.
Yeah. But Burnley are literally the bottom of the table. If United
no, they're ahead of
Oh, you guys are setting it up. You guys are setting
They're
it
ahead
up.
of
Oh, already jinxing it.
Stop.
Jinxing it.
Stop. Just stop. Just cut the stream. Just cut it.
Hey, 2-0 to United.
Oh no! It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.
3-0 United.
Yo, lifetime
3-0 United against Burnley?
for Mr. Freddie.
Against Burnley?
Yeah, I'm saying 2-0 United.
How the hell are we gonna score 3 goals? How many times? We don't really score goals.
2 from Garnacho, 1 from Hoyland. Here it comes.
There you go.
Here it comes.
Gentlemen,
Here it
thank you
comes.
very much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you
Don't
very
forget to
much.
like, share, subscribe. Man United 3, Bayern Munich 4, first day of the Champions League in that group. But Man United have a lot of work to do. Bayern Munich, we see you guys soon. Take care and God bless. Have a nice evening. From us, it's goodbye and good night. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
You're welcome, mate.